We fucking did it, baby!
Easy, not even difficult. They're saying it's entirely thanks to us.
We single-handedly saved the American movie industry. It wasn't, organized labor and the commitment of a lot of activists and a lot of like working actors and writers and like allied trades all pulling together to force the studios into making concessions that make working in Hollywood possible. It was us three. And you know what? You're so welcome.
Yep.
When you're going to watch like, Killers of the Flower Moon or whatever, just like just have on your lips a little whispery thank you, Kill James Bond.
Yeah.
And you know what?
you.
You're so welcome.
Yep. So if you haven't heard, the WGA strike is over. The WGA got everything they asked for. The SAG strike is over. Actors got everything we asked for. And that means that if you're in the AMPTP and you're listening to this, I just want to say one thing, which is we're friends now. So please hire all of us. We are back to being friendly with our employers. We love producers. We love casting directors. We love making movies. We love working.
A few months into next year, IATSE, which is
Thank God.
like electricians, lighting techs.
All guys who have not been able to work during the strike but have not themselves been on strike. Like a buddy of mine, Adam, has been in this situation. It's like the second this strike is over, all of these guys took the guns out of their mouths and are like,
Because IATSE's contract is up in a few months.
Oh, yeah.
And once that contract is up for renegotiation, we may find ourselves back in the same situation.
And we will fucking have solidarity with them.
That's right.
When
The
that happens.
animators are like their contract negotiations is up towards the middle of next year. So, the season of solidarity, the thing is, I really haven't been enjoying
So have I.
watching Eurospy movies, and I
So
want to
fun.
keep doing it while we queue up the next thing. I have big plan for the next thing, right? I'm really excited, and I can't wait to share
We're
it all
assembling
with
a
you.
crew and preparing an elaborate scheme for the next thing.
We're putting a team together, but while we do that,
With a little help from some old friends.
yeah, I would like to
Us.
keep us going with some Eurospy, and then.
Because we're having
After
fun.
that, we can dip into it whenever there's sort of like labor unrest that requires us not to watch American movies.
Yeah.
Having given that nice little homily about how nice it is to watch
I love
Eurospy
Eurospy.
movies,
Eurospy's
let's get into this fucking dog shit.
Oh, God. All right.
Guten
Once
Tag,
again,
liebe Listener.
I never said they'd all be good.
Yeah, so look, cards on the table, right? FX18 is maybe the morally worst Eurospy movie we've watched. This is the worst in the sense of being mediocre, in the sense of there being so little to it that on watching it, on finishing it, I was like, yup, that you have fulfilled all of the parts of the formula, and now I have to try and take it to my friends and together turn it into something that's actually entertaining, which you failed to do.
We've got to do a
Feels like-
comedy podcast about this.
It feels like this movie was assembled by an AI. In the it kind of ticks all of the boxes, but just
It was
feels
written by
fundamentally
Germans,
off.
so- so this is Schüsse in 3/4 Takt, or Shots in 3/4 Time, or Spy Hunt in Vienna. This is too many titles.
Also, listeners, you know how in the previous Eurospy movies we've been saying that we've been getting a crash course in film studies by watching a movie where like one person didn't turn up to work and it's a different person on the crew each time? I think last time it was the moment-to-moment editing. This movie, the scene-to-scene editing is the problem. They did a really bad job of it.
Yeah. I mean, sort of everyone in a lot of ways. This is a German-Austrian co-production, largely funded by the City of Vienna. Which,
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Vienna City Hall paid for a lot of this,
Oh, this is a tourism flick.
Yes, yeah. It stars Pierre Brice, who was in this weird kind of like Jerry Lewis situation where he was like a French actor who was really popular, but only in Germany.
Huh.
And he mostly did westerns where he played a Native American. And this is the most German sentence I can possibly say to you. He played an Apache chief in a bunch of adaptations of German Western novels whose biggest fan was Adolf Hitler. Karl May. He did a bunch of Karl May novels.
You told me that Adolf Hitler was a fan of American expansion against indigenous American people. That's crazy.
Right?
I wonder why.
But this guy, Pierre Brice, he also did a couple of spy movies and a couple of crime movies, and this is technically one of them. It's on the list.
It's a crime movie, really, more than a spy movie.
Yes, it is.
Because those genres were quite strongly co-located at the start of this. The spy thing only sort of found itself bearing out later, which means that we're stuck with a lot of crime shit happening in this one. But fortunately, because it is a Euro spy movie, we do start with something familiar. We've got clearly a 009.
Yeah.
These days they won't.
009 in the
Yeah, me too. I was like, too obvious a car for a 009. You fuck, brother. Yeah. Red, imbecile. It's over for you.
But this is the thing. These days, they won't let you be an anxious-looking middle-aged man driving a silly little sports car around the center of Paris because of wokeness. He's driving like a silly little red sports car. He's being chased by a sick black Citroen DS, the thing I always thought of as the spy car. It's France in the 60s, so they've got the yellow headlights. It's aesthetic as fuck. The theme song's playing, again, classic for this. The theme song, no, it's not great.
Moderately funky.
It's a bit sort of moderation in funk.
Funk, but brackets German.
German, Austrian. Yeah, the funk, we will have a reasonable allocation of funk at this point in the
welcome
film.
to funk.
Yeah, but German Keir Starmer doesn't call on it to go further. He's just like, Willkommen das Funk.
Willkommen das Funk.
So the thing is, right, doing this podcast has fucked my brain.
Kleiner Funk.
It has broken my brain because it leads me to write sentences that any reasonable person would look in my notebook and go, these are the ravings of a lunatic, right? Because 009, he gets out of this car chase, and my note just says they 009'd him on a Parisian ski lift.
Yes.
Why is there a ski lift in Paris? Who's skiing in central Paris?
He gets on a ski lift that runs from, I guess, Montmartre down the hill, and...
It's like the Emirates cable line. It's like, I don't know why that's there, but it's there, and you can get on it if you want.
Yeah. He takes the Emirates cable line.
They do him.
Someone cites him out that it's a JFK-style 009ing. Like,
I don't know. He's on the phone to someone. He's got a case, and the guy on the phone is like, drop the case when I say so." Drops the case, and then the guy's like, "Anything else?" And you see him getting like lined up, and the guy's like,
"Please
could
don't
you
009 me.
Lean a bit to the left," which is stone cold thing to say to a guy that you're about to shoot.
And then they take him out JFK style. A guy with a sniper rifle just shoots him.
Thumbs him off.
Not 100% JFK style. It would have been a lot weirder if JFK was riding the presidential ski lift when he got assassinated. But like,
slowly taking the ski lift by the Texas book supposed to.
America's first 009 president.
I think Abraham Lincoln was America's first 009 president.
That's very true. Important moment in 009 representation.
Garfield, McKinley, Lincoln.
This has ruined me, man. Because most films, most cinema, most TV, when you actually look at it, kills a guy before the title sequence to establish threat. And we are now completely incapable of not seeing that and going, that guy's 009.
We can't take it seriously anymore.
I watched the Hellraiser reboot yesterday, and the guy that gets killed is like a young male sex worker. And like the entire time I was like, that guy's 007. It's a shame, but he's going to get done in here.
He's 009, you mean?
gets
009.
in.
Oh, yeah, no, he's not
Well, no, in
007.
order to be a 009, it's not just that you get killed, it's that you have to be killed and then somebody has to say to kickstart the plot later on. Protagonist 009 has been killed. If you just get like killed unconnected style, you're not a 009.
Yeah, you have to be like nervous about it too. You have to like kind of know it's coming, right? You have to be chased and then murdered. Yeah.
Well, wouldn't work being chased if you're the sex worker.
So he gets 009, and then we get the titles.
This is the best bit of the movie, the title sequence, which is a bad thing about a movie, but
wholeheartedly disagree.
what?
I love this.
What they do is they use gun as an instrument.
Yeah, and it's in 3/4 time. Like, what do you want from me?
It's really I like it when somebody plays the I was grade 5 gun.
The one guy in the fucking orchestra pit with a fucking like Makarov. Just
My
like,
parents stood me up at my gun recital.
Oh, my mum used to make me practice gun every morning.
I've got a shitload of guns with different length barrels.
What do you got? Like the pianissimo, you've got the silencer.
Listen, Robert Rodriguez made a series of movies illustrating why gun is a terrible instrument. And this movie just proves it.
I like it. The title sequence is cool. It's like all the credits are being projected onto surfaces that then get shot in time with the music. And also we're back to a classic bit of Bond opening, silhouettes. Sexy ladies.
It is very funny that like every name that comes up gets shot. It goes on for like 10 minutes.
It is much longer than it needs to be. I will say that.
It's like an American politician shooting the Affordable Care Act in an ad. It's like, fuck these credits. Sound design, fuck you.
I like it.
There's a number of shots where, like, you know, like a thing gets shot and it like pauses while it's being shot, and then the credit comes up and it gets shot again. I don't know. I like it. They're playing around with it. I wish they kept playing around instead of making the most by the fucking book spy movie I've ever seen in my life.
They do shoot a clown.
They
this,
do.
though.
Yeah, worrying amount of clowns in this sequence. I wrote that down straight away. I was like, disturbing.
It just sort of signifies to you that there will be clowns in the film.
I hate to see that.
That's one of the things that you don't like to be signified is the existence of the clown.
This is the most clown-dense film we've had in a while.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Octopussy does some clown
CIA
behavior,
clowns.
but like that's all in the final act. This is clowns the whole way through. The same sense of dread as if you're watching like a Bond sequence and he's falling slowly and surrounded by a shitload of clowns or something. You're like, oh no, there's gonna be fucking clowns in this one.
Yeah, what if there was a clown?
So just as I write down, stop shooting things, you maniac, we hard cut out of the credits.
Yes.
Like instantly, like, thanks. And we go to Paris Airport, Orly Airport, because you can't make these movies without like the 60s explosion in air travel, you know?
Yeah, of course, because Charles de Gaulle wasn't built yet.
Yeah. And 1960s woman dysphoria strikes immediately, like to the second, despite the fact that this is a woman who is wearing a hat made out of desiccated coconut.
Yeah, not entirely sure what the fit is here, but this is Moneypenny, basically.
Yeah, she's a captain though, which is, you know, fucking, you know, I appreciate any woman with a rank, especially an officer's rank, especially captain, because
Yeah,
the
they
only
call
rank.
her Frank Sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Terrible. So our boy Pierre Brice, Philip Taylor in the English dub.
He appears, and this man is very unfortunate. This man looks identical to Zach Braff. this James Bond here, played by JD from Scrubs.
They brill cleaned Zach Braff.
Oh my god, I
Looks
didn't notice.
exactly like Zach
Holy
Braff.
shit.
Just 100%.
Oh, no.
And in this, let me tell you, he's wooden. You know, it's just he spends most of the movie in this shitty, shiny raincoat. He's basically a private detective. Someone calls him a private detective at one point. He just doesn't even bother to give him a number. He's barely a spy. But he gets off the plane and he's like, hey, Moneypenny, what's up? Why have you like summoned me back from Casablanca, where I've just been like fucking around? And she's like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. The scene's just padding. I'll take you to M.
Take it at M. Also, they do get a very funny line where he says, how did you get my address? And she says, the Russian embassy told us. Which
Now-
I quite like.
So we meet M. M is sort of older man with a monocle, and
And
this
a
is the
pipe and a
thing.
desk, so you know he's
no, it's not a pipe, it's a cigar. And I know this because he puts the cigar to his lips. He like briefs him. He's like, yo, 009 just got 009. And then
Fuck.
And then the English dub just runs out. So what he does is he hits the cigarette that makes you speak German instantly. And it sounds like this.
Although I might mention you'll get the usual compensation, of course.
The captain wouldn't say what it was all about.
Ein gewisser Jacques Bérard ist erschossen worden.
And that noise, that is him popping the cigar into his mouth.
I was very normal.
Und
And then I smoked on the cigars that makes you German.
So M is heterochromic as well. My notes say this MF heterochromic and heteroglossal.
Okay. Now, I need to provide an explanation here because this is actually not authentic to the movie. This is an artifact of the version we have, which means obviously we can't criticize it, but we can use it to make jokes because it's a comedy podcast. But this is, I got an email from a listener of the show, Nomos, in the Discord, who said, I had to put this together. I could only find a good quality German version and an FX18 quality English dub with missing parts. So we've got the dub, and then every bit that's missing, it hard shifts into German that has been translated for us by another Discord user,
That's
Fruitblaser,
so
Hero.
for
funny.
the subtitles.
That's perfect. Thank you so much. I love our podcast that is held together with chewing gum and string. And this is the thing, right?
Thank you
He, like-
so much,
Yeah.
guys.
He takes his like, by the way, insanely cool hand cranked wheelchair over to a
Yes,
safe.
he does.
Rules.
Gets some documents out of the safe, hand cranks his way back over, and then he touches the cigar again at the exact time. Every time he touches it, the languages change. And there's this moment where I felt like I was just like, because he touches the cigar and it goes to this.
Bérard was seeing a great deal of
Keine
a
Sekunde
circus
zu
performer
verlieren.
named Claudette Cunning.
Yes.
He's
and
speaking
there are
English
some.
and German simultaneously.
I would hate to smoke the cigar that makes you speak two languages simultaneously.
I gotta tell you, this is the last thing you want your boss to start doing when you're in Paris, is to hard shift into speaking German.
Neither of which are the languages of Paris.
Oh, fuck!
So the guy explains to him in two languages at once. This guy 009, he was a weapons scientist, and the weapon that he was weaponeering was this like missile guidance thrower off.
It makes rocket fall down.
Yeah.
It does make rocket fall down, and it's to call them fucking MacGuffin device, right? You have to go and find it. You have 8 days. Doesn't say why. He's just like a deadlines guy, I guess.
Also, Alice, this is a joke just for you, but I've just realized I shouldn't have said heteroglossal. I should have said heterolinguistic. Because that would have been funnier.
It's fine. I think we managed. But yeah,
Damn, that shit really was just for her.
it was just for me. Yeah, so much so that we could
Sorry.
cut it. In fact,
No, because heteroglossal keeps both halves of the word in Greek, which is why I coined
like
heteroglossal.
television.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Heterolinguistic mixes Greek and Latin, and therefore
Which is funnier.
heterolinguistic, which is funnier.
yeah.
Ah, thank you. Yeah, keep all of us. All right. That was good. Thank you.
So this guy Philippe Tissot, it's like you got 8 days.
Just okay.
Sorry,
Again, it's very difficult to keep track because he explains all of this twice in German and English at the same time.
Again, just an artifact.
Sorry, I've just also heteroglossal Alice is a portmantologism, which is a portmanteau of portmanteau and neologism.
Can we get this one with like a shot collar or something?
Yes, please.
Yeah, that won't help. That won't fucking...
No, I've made the situation worse, is what I've done.
Let's do a live podcast with shot collars on for charity at some time or something.
Sorry, that's enough classical education jokes.
You have 8 days. He also gives him the code name Caesar. Never comes up again.
No, Caesar's
Yeah.
the guy we're hunting.
What?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
So
for fuck's
whoever
sake.
has the device, whoever 009 to 009 is codenamed Caesar, find them,
Okay.
get back the device within 8 days, or...
You can tell this because for the entire rest of the movie, our main character is just like casually mentioning Caesar around everyone that he suspects might be the
you're
guy to see their reaction.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, all right. Next location. You got to go interview this guy, this woman actually.
This trapeze artist.
Yeah, this trapeze artist, and immediately a second 1960s woman strikes the movie because, man, I did 1960s women dysphoria. Why can't I get my hair to do that? Why can't I just?
There's no way to do it. I'm sorry.
It's just that's lost
Women's
technology.
hair.
You know?
It doesn't. It's crazy. There's a last later on with the coolest hair I've ever seen, and it's just perfectly maintained the whole movie.
Yeah. So this woman, she's a trapeze artist, and she has her husband Pierre Gilbert with her. And let me tell you, right? Immediately, you look at this guy, and you're like, "That's the antagonist. That's the guy, because that's the like second best actor in the movie."
What I like is he walks into this room and says to the woman,
Good evening, Miss Cummings.
I'm sick of the police.
which is fair enough, I suppose.
yeah.
Not a gun, a cop. And he's like, don't worry, I'm not actually a cop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a private investigator.
Which again, this is supposed to be a spy
She
movie.
knew
Whatever.
009. She was 009's lover, which I think is the first time a 009 has ever gotten pussy.
Yes.
That's true. Off-screen pussy, but
Yeah.
nonetheless.
The best kind of... I don't even know.
and she's sort of like exasperated, and Pierre is ostensibly supportive, and she's like, listen, I'm being very mysterious about this. I will tell you everything, but I have to go on stage right now. And once I'm off stage, I will reveal all
I'm going
of
to
the
tell you
dark
everything. I
secrets.
just need to go into a second location and stand there for a bit, and then
Yeah.
I'm going to come back. And
Yeah.
you're like, we understand that she will be killed during this period.
Yeah.
Additionally,
She do-
all the shots of what's happening on stage at the moment are shot from like stage left, and they're of like guys in green dancing not really very well at all.
The Cossack dancers, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this lady and her
They're doing a
husband...
bad job of Cossack dancing as well.
It's true.
Better than I could do. This lady and her husband are trapeze artists. They're trapezoids. And they go up on the trapeze platform, ? And then she gets shot off the platform. And the band strike up a hilarious tune to try and cover this.
She lands in the Amsha death pose as well.
I mean, the editing is fantastic because she does the like act. She swings back and forth, and we see the whole thing, and then they land, and they go like, "Hey!" And then it cuts back, and they're doing it again a second time, and it's just the same shot, but they just put it in again.
Very easily pleased crowd.
Yeah.
She just gets killed immediately.
Yeah.
And we hard cut to
Sniped
So-
again.
on the train to Vienna with her now widower,
Yes.
Gilbert.
And Bond Philippe comes in, and obviously the shock of having seen this woman murdered in front of him has caused him to become German. Because he starts speaking in fucking German to this guy, and it's like,
He sits down and he's like, Ich will komme das Funk.
"Willkommen das Volk." Your wife was cheating on you, by the way. And he's like, "Yeah, I know. It's my fault. I drove her away. Whatever. I don't give a shit."
There's the only good line in this script where he's like, yeah, you can't cheat on someone you don't love.
Yeah. No, he was like, listen,
think you can.
we work together. All I gave her was discipline because of our profession here. So naturally, she sought comfort in someone else. I'm upset about it, but I don't blame her.
He's reading a copy of The Ethical Slut.
Yeah.
Great book.
It's a good line. It's a terrible ethical principle, but yeah, the philosophical cuckold.
Yeah.
is basically this.
He's
guy's
just
deal
like,
with
it's
it.
fine. You know what? I'm upset about it, but I can't find it in my heart to blame her.
And Philippe is like, "Yo, so your next performance was in Vienna?" He's like, "Yes, it was." He was like, So why are you going to Vienna now, bro? Because she's dead." And he's like, "Just felt like going to Vienna."
It's like, I've booked the hotel, man.
Yeah, I already paid for it. I might as well have a holiday.
Non-refundable.
Have a kind of whatever the death version of a honeymoon is. It's like, I'm just gonna go and see if I can pick up a new wife.
Slut era.
And it's like, whoever Caesar is, he probably killed your wife. And so you're now in danger. And in order to stress the danger that you're in, I'm going to now switch to speak English. But only briefly, because at this point he's attacked by an assassin, and the shock makes him switch back to German again. Every time this guy gets a head injury, he changes language.
It's got a big language switch on the back of his head. But yeah, so the masked gunman tries to like assassinate him, and you know how badly you have to shoot a train fight for me to be bored? Like, I mentioned this in the Bond movies. I love a train fight. One of my ideal like locations for a fight, and one of my ideal activities on a train fight, you know?
It's number 2 of the activities I'd like to do on a train.
the shot collar. But yeah, no, I'm just bored by this. It's shot so limply and confusingly.
But the assassin runs away, and so they follow him into the dining car, where there happens to be a friend of Gilbert's, whose name is Renato, I think.
Yes.
Who says,
CIA clowns.
yeah.
He's a clown.
He's a clown. He says hello in English, then they switch to German, then they switch to English again.
Yeah, this does not get any less distracting throughout.
Can't really blame the movie, as always.
He kind of commiserates with him. He's like, "Man, sorry your wife got shot dead on stage. My partner missed the train. He's going to be flying down." And at this point, someone hits the emergency stop. The train grinds to a halt. And our boy Philippe runs to the door, sees a guy take off into the night, and goes, "Fuck that guy."
Straight up doesn't care about it though. Like, this happens twice. Is that like after they have when they chase out of the cabin of the fucking train, this guy is running down the rest of the corridor, and you see him continue running in the background as like these two guys just like, "You're all right?" He's like, "Yeah, no, I'm fine, man. I don't know." It's like, chase him!
Yeah,
what are you? He's right there.
He's trying to start a chase sequence. Like Daniel Craig Bond would have busted through a wall at this point to get to this guy, and he's just like,
For real.
"Damn, I'm not wearing running shoes. I was gonna leave it."
I respect that immensely, to be honest with you.
Yeah, just doesn't bother.
It's like, whatever, I'll catch him later.
So they get to Vienna, and in Vienna, he gets into the station, does a little code phrase with a guy who's like, "Yeah, your contact's outside."
Yeah, this is like nice portly guy. Who goes, "You guys outside?" He's wearing a fur collar.
And I immediately prepare myself for like a sick outfit. I like a coat, and lounging against a Chevrolet Impala is the fur collar spy twink.
Oh, the James McAvoy in Atomic Blonde brackets not scruffy.
Yeah, unbelievable. Just cunt, pure cunt, crazy.
He's serving is the thing.
This guy's Joshua, I think?
He's called Josh, yeah.
Yeah.
I called him Cunty Josh in my notes for the entire
Cunty
movie.
Josh it is.
Thank you.
Cunty Josh, he drives really fast is the other thing about him. And I'm like, man, okay. Just being normal.
Takes him to an art museum where everyone is a spy. And Bond, I'm just calling him Bond, he stands in front of a painting, which is a secret door.
So it's so funny. His contact in the fucking airport, the guy he gives the code phrase to, is like a portly man. All of the spies he meets at this fucking gallery are portly men as well. It's like John Wick, except if everyone who is in on the conspiracy was just like a big guy.
Yeah, it's sort of like a BMI limited Society of the Crossed Keys. You know?
They're the guys that have the coins.
Yeah.
So at this point, I want to set something up here because he gets shown into a fancy secret office that has like a big mirror on the wall that's like attached to a door. There's something behind it, and he walks up to this.
It's very weird to have a mirror, like a big mirror, hung on a cabinet door. Like this is like kitchen couch.
Well, so he walks over to it and he like slowly opens the mirror, and I'm like, oh, you're going to do something clever here, aren't you? Which is that when he opens the mirror is going to go across where we think the camera is, but then we're not going to see the camera operator because you've done something clever with the angles. But no, actually, he opens the mirrored cabinet and we quite clearly see the camera, the dolly, and the camera operator, who is wearing a brown shirt. I could tell you the color of it because you could fucking see the camera guy. Fuck, dude.
The thing about us is that our film criticism doesn't always end into like you can see the boom mic on stage. So if we're mentioning it, it is the most egregious shot of a camera guy I've ever seen in my fucking...
The next episode, the very next bonus episode of this, we watched like one of the most cinematographically interesting movies. The previous one, the previous bonus episode, we watched one of the like best, most cinematographically interesting movies of the 20th century, and then we followed that up immediately with Guy visible in shot. It just light and shade.
Directly filmed himself in the mirror. Nobody thought maybe we shouldn't do that.
Real like chiaroscuro, real professionals. They do one take and one take only.
So he's expecting to meet our man in Vienna, but instead in comes a sexy lady who is the daughter of our man in Vienna.
He opens this cabinet and like sort of briefly uses the CCTV system to gather data on various of women, which is kind of nonce adjacent at the very least. Then this second beautiful woman comes in, and the thrust of this scene is I don't want to have to work for a woman.
Yeah,
because she explains herself. She's like, yeah, no, my dad is the Ali Kerem Bey of this movie, the like head of station in Vienna.
Station V Vienna.
Yeah, for whatever secret service we work for. But he's disappeared. He's been captured by someone. We don't know.
She just says he's away.
Yeah, he's on sabbatical. We have a deputy head of station, but because I'm his daughter, I thought I'd just like hang out and run shit. Everyone says I'm really good at my job. And it's just really like sad that she like kind of has to plead for her own competence in relation to men, but also kind of weird that her qualification for it is just like, that's my dad. Like working for Station V Vienna is like working for The Guardian. It just...
Yeah, they're really transphobic. So she's like, so you're the famous agent, we didn't give you a number. And he's like, yeah, I am, because he switched to German. And then she says, well, we're going to help you track down the device, but first I need you to fuck my pussy.
Yeah, absolutely. I quite like this, right? Because she does this hard sell for both Vienna and him having sex with her, right? Like, I mean, obviously I admire any assertive woman, right? But like, she's like, have you seen our beautiful cathedral? This film was paid for largely by the town hall of Vienna. Also, have you seen my pussy? Would you like to?
One of the greatest attractions in Vienna,
Yeah, it's like 10 meters shorter than the Eiffel Tower.
The pussy?
And the cathedral's pretty good too.
It receives visits from over 11,000 tourists every month. And the cathedral's pretty good too.
Listen, you got to get your jokes in this where you can, because they're not in the movie.
Fucking hell.
But yeah, so he's not interested because he's like, ugh, gross. It's really like he's not at all seductive on the kind of like Bond thing. He doesn't really like show any interest, where OSS 117 that we've seen would have like nonced a couple of women personally by now. He's just like, yeah, Sakatorta or whatever. I want to go to investigate this circus.
Yeah. He says, get me. She's like, oh, I'll get you tickets to the opera and I'll wear like a cunty dress. And he's like, actually, I want to see the clowns.
I want to see the
CIA
clowns.
Yeah, he wants to go to this like shitty circus because that's where
Clown Boy and Gilbert are going.
The Clown Boy.
The Clown Boy. So this point, okay, this is
Blowjob Brothers brackets clown.
This is when we get like the scene to scene editing fucks up. So he goes to the circus. We see a singer named Irina who is rehearsing. She's singing in both German and English, Kim Petras style, which is really cool.
Yeah, she does a Denglish sentimental baby, which sucks, and it does the whole song. I don't know if this is like contractual or on her part or what.
Disagree,
like,
really liked it.
Really? I think you're just weak to like any kind of like torch singer.
Yes, I think I am. So he meets the clown Renato, who says, go to the hotel and meet Gilbert. Then we cut to the hotel, he meets Gilbert, and then they together go to the circus again. And I'm like, So you've just gone circus for 2 minutes, hotel for 30 seconds, back to the same. I'm like, just editing, man. Just have Gilbert be at the circus. This was unnecessary. You could have saved a whole day's shooting. Like, what a fucking waste of budget that was.
I do really want to talk about one detail,
Yeah, go on. Just.
which is Irina has a husband,
She does.
Enrico. And Enrico has some fits. First of all, Enrico is wearing a satin dressing gown with the name Enrico embroidered on the back, which is already powerful. But second of all, Enrico has his boys, his pit crew, who are all wearing cable knit sweaters with Enrico embroidered across the front.
I gotta get my boys some cable knit sweaters with my name on.
Who would wear a satin dressing gown? Who would do that?
We're all wearing the cable knit sweaters and they all say Devon.
If I can get those made, that'd be very fun. Oh dear.
I was really struck by them.
It's very good. You love to have the boys together. Again, putting your name in big letters on your clothing is
It's normal and cool.
normal and cool.
This is also, I should say, the tame bear era of circuses. We're thoroughly in the like animal abuse
Oh yeah, there
years.
were bears back there.
There's bears, there's
Elephants,
elephants,
yeah.
there's all types
Oh
of shit.
fuck! I just remember something. Sorry, this is a complete tangent. But a couple of days ago, I was on a Zoom call for Acorn, which is my tenants union that I do actions for sometimes, and we were planning the thing where we disrupted a Senate session about climate change, because the climate change minister also does housing. So we're talking about rent control. There was only one way to get to her. But when we were planning that, I was on the call talking about, well, we need to wear casual clothing. There should be nondescript stuff. And Owen, who is my friend, goes, well, Devon, what do you mean by casual clothing? Because I notice right now you are wearing a hoodie with your name on it in block capitals. Like, listen to me, you motherfucker.
the least OPSEC anyone has ever had.
Yeah, I can put together a full outfit that does just have my name on me all over the place.
It's like you remember in primary school where it was like, oh, make sure that like all of your stuff has your name and your class number and everything on it. Yeah, you're continuing that.
I am, yeah. I'm always writing my name on like my collar and things. Anyway,
This fucking movie.
The Bond, whatever. He says to Hubert, he's like, listen, you better not go to the Palladium tonight. And then it does hard cut for two of them at the Palladium, which I think is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Not intentionally. It's just bad editing.
Yes.
But
So Bond wants to meet Renato's partner, the clown boy Henry, who allegedly flew down, but they figure out, he must have like taken the train, so he's lying. Why
clowns
is he?
can't
He's
fly.
like hiding something.
They don't like clowns on planes.
And so they go and see Henry, who is the sad clown in this clown double act. And he says,
got a good face, you know.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
actor, he's got like a lot of pathos.
He says, look, I'll tell you what the kind of secret spy information is, but after the show in the boiler room, meet me there.
Hang on, I got to go to a second location and stand still for a bit.
Yeah.
I'll come back and tell you everything.
Just go to the like hitman assassination opportunity. Stand under this chandelier. I'm gonna go and talk to a bunch of people in really hushed tones, but that's about something unrelated. And of course, gets up, goes to speak to someone, and is like, yeah, he's gonna be in the fucking boiler room, so you can kill him.
At this point, this odd thing happens. So the elephant ringmaster, I was about to say the elephant man, but not that kind of elephant man. The guy who is in charge of the elephants is
This guy.
Excuse me, my elephants need me.
I also have that clip, yeah.
Iconic quote from character Elephant Man.
in the very
Me
last
leaving
one.
any situation. Oh, I'm sorry, hold on.
The elephants need me.
Yeah, it's like me joining the conversation. I have also decided to join this conversation. Me leaving the conversation. My elephants need me.
But he's a friend of Gilbert, and he says, Gilbert, you shouldn't stay in the hotel tonight. You should come and live with me because your life might be in danger. And Philip says, yes, I agree. Gilbert's like, no, fuck that. At this point, Philippe just like punches Gilbert and knocks him out. And the elephant guy's like, yeah, cool, sick. I'll take him back to my place. I'm like, what?
Now they're all in on it. Listen, they all want to take care of this guy. They're trying to protect him, but he won't accept it.
It's like the non-lethal ending of that one Dishonored mission with the party, you know?
Yeah, I'm just dropping this guy off in the fucking boat underneath.
Yeah, trust. I'll take care of him. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I don't know about that. There's also a bit earlier. This guy is the most attempting to get killed motherfucker on earth because when Bond visits him in his hotel room, he's like got his back to the door and the door is unlocked. Bond's like, bro, what are you fucking doing, man?
They have a bit of like a gun pulling competition.
And the other guy's like, you won't fucking use that, dog. You are fucking yourself here.
So at this point, Irina is Enrico, him of the dressing gown, has to go out on stage. He is also a trapeze artist. There's too many fucking trapeze artists in this movie. And his deal as a trapeze artist is hanging upside down from a rocket, perfectly T-posing, that's just doing like slow loops of the circus. And every fucking person in that audience, this is the coolest
like
shit they've ever seen.
There was nothing to do before like Nintendo. There really wasn't.
Absolutely.
It's all psychosexually abusing.
Except pedophilia, as we discussed on the last bonus episode.
Why is it that we have the bonus episode? We always end up talking about pedophilia. So yeah, the guys from Station V Vienna show up. Namely, what's her
Vicky,
name? Vicky,
Jerry,
Vicky,
and Cunty Josh, who's in the rafters with a fur collar, a cigarette, and a sniper rifle.
Oh, the sniper rifle. This is I had to ask people on Twitter what this was because I didn't recognize it. This is a Carcano Moschetto that someone has sawed in half to do the
I'll have a glass of that. That sounds delicious.
But like they've tried to do the Hitman thing of like you assemble the sniper rifle.
Yeah.
What they've done is they've just taken an ordinary rifle and just had a guy with a bandsaw just like chop it in two halves.
Really?
It's brutal.
Oh my
yeah,
God,
yeah.
that's so funny. It's just got like a hinge on it, like.
So Jerry, who's like Vicky's right-hand man, goes to see Irina, who's watching Enrico perform, and says, "Yo, if you don't cooperate with us on our mysterious plan, my buddy Cunty Josh is lining up your husband right now."
Yeah, it's the bit from Ronin, if you remember that, where the ice skater, and up in the rafters, Cunty Josh is like. It occurs to me that he waited for the one girl to like stand still on top of the trapeze before he shot her, whereas Enrico is going round in circles, inverted T-posing. It's a low, confident shot, surely, yeah.
I think you stay still, you just hold up, like he's gonna get back in. You just line up to where he's been once, he'll get there again.
Maybe it's like a dead shots type of thing, but it's like very specifically this guy is only good at making shots against people who are suspended in aerial situations. Like he's only like the trapeze or chairlift sniper.
Oh my God, you're so right. He only shoots motherfuckers who are off the ground.
He will only shoot you if you're suspended from some kind of wire.
If you walk towards him at a steady pace, he's fucked. There's nothing he can do.
Yeah, because he's not specialized in like the
If
same.
he runs,
run,
he will time it.
And both your feet come off the floor. Dead.
That's like a fucking stand ability, man. That's ridiculous.
They worked out the horses have all four hooves off the ground at one point because that guy shot one of them.
That's why he can never take out an elephant. They don't gallop. They only walk fast.
So they successfully blackmail Irina to like tell them where
Something. We don't even fucking find out what the fuck the blackmailer for.
So funny that Cunty Josh is the sniper and his like cover is that he's posing as the bodyguard for the private investigator that's here looking for the sniper.
Yeah, that is cool.
That's you're only doing that because that's like a cunt thing to do, basically.
I feel like a good movie would have made more of this, but anyway.
Yeah, really would have been nice, but
Bond has a bit of a gunfight.
Yeah, he gets ambushed in the boiler room, but survives.
In the boiler room. It's he survives, it's fine because they call it off in time. I think that's what the blackmail was for.
yeah.
And then he leaves, and immediately waiting outside is Vicky like, I won't be ignored. When are you going to fuck me? Like, seriously.
Because he's still looking for Henry the Clown, being like, Henry the Clown said he would meet me, but Henry's gone. She's like, instead, let me take you to a beautiful dinner and then fuck my pussy.
Exactly.
And she's like, well, what if we had dinner in German?
We get a whole full sentimental baby before she leaves. But yeah.
Oh,
So
you better believe we're gonna have a sentimental baby.
So they go to a beer keller, and man, it's.
They have a date. I don't know what happens in the scene because this date is conducted simultaneously in German and English.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, I also sort of didn't didn't really get this one.
No clue.
My notes say he must have said something rizful because now they're at her place and they shag. So no idea how this date went.
Well, she was already very strongly pro him having sex with her. So
See, this is the thing. This is the error that movies make. Is movies make us think that you have to go out to the nice dinner and then fuck, but no, it's the other way around. You should have
can't
sex
fuck after a big dinner.
Yeah, because you go to the big fancy dinner and then you're in the mood of the restaurant, but then you get on the fucking tube and you go back to your place and you walk up the stairs in heels and you're like, I don't want to fuck anymore. You fuck first, then go to the fancy dinner.
Smart.
100%. Big dinners. I'm bloated, fucking don't touch me. All right?
Yeah.
Let me lie down perfectly still for a bit.
Yeah.
Just to be fair, also my sexual technique. So
Just lie down perfectly still.
I'm a pillow princess. Yeah, it's really fun.
Oh, that's so sweet.
She wakes up the next morning. He has ditched her. He has left her a cunty little reel-to-reel tape that's
yeah, because she was recording him. No, the tape was in the room and she was recording. What? I know. Was she recording him?
She was.
Why was she doing this?
Yeah, and instead he just taped over that with a little good morning message to her. What? I don't really understand why anyone did anything.
He goes back to the fucking circus.
Yep.
And at the circus, they're like, yo, second clown has disappeared.
We're hemorrhaging clowns like nobody's fucking business here at the
Also,
circus.
they keep doing the Dr. No thing where they just blast the same 8 bars of the theme song as he's sneaking around this circus.
Oh,
I've got that.
one time later on, he gets cut off by his own theme music mid-sentence. He's like,
Where are my clothes? I better get dressed.
I hate it when that happens to me.
it's alarmingly loud and startling every time, and it happens fucking constantly.
So he goes to the circus, Arena is there, they're looking for Henry, right? But they get there and Henry's fucking dead. He's been poisoned.
Oh, and then he looks at him and offers the immortal line.
Arsenic. Too bad. He should have stuck to clowning.
Huh?
I think he did, man. He was killed shortly after getting off stage from doing that very thing.
He's wearing a clown's dress uniform. He's...
Actually, why is he dressed as a clown? Given that...
Because he is one.
Well, no, they mentioned that at the end because they mentioned that in the previous scene where they were like, he's left. And then they were like, he even went home in makeup. He didn't even get changed. He wanted to leave so fast, but he's still dressed as a clown.
It's true. That's true. And when he gets dropped off at the location, the abandoned fairground where he finds this dead clown, the taxi driver...
Abandoned fairground.
The taxi driver just has this strange, anti-clown bias. Where he's like, I don't have the line, but
I've got the line. I got it in full. Hang on.
Funny type he was. He didn't say a word. Not even when I asked him what he was going to do. Here, you know what I think? His type ought to be committed. Yeah.
Just kind of like the Viennese talk sport listening cab driver who's just I reckon them clans ought to be fucking institutionalized.
There's a lot of prejudice against clowns back then.
It is funny to imagine somebody who's extremely woke about all other groups but just hates clowns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Chorophobia,
That was the 70s Viennese version of trans people. They're just fucking clowns. Sneaking into non-clown spaces.
You can't they're putting that on, As soon as they get home, they take all of that off and then they just look normal.
This is a parody of womanhood.
Clown socialization.
It's a parody of...
I've met some people who were socialized as fucking clowns, let me tell you.
To me, everyone was socialized as clowns.
This is the 1970s Viennese version of trans people, which was the 1960s Italian version of blind people.
We're really fucking struggling with this movie. Also, the thing is, the door into the abandoned fairground ground where he finds this dead clown. This is normal for my brain. It just every time he touches that door, it activates his theme. So he goes in the door and it goes. And then he goes back out of the same door a minute later, and it plays it again.
The theme song is just that again and again. There's nothing else.
Yeah, it loops.
A gunman attacks, and Bond chases him outside onto a roller coaster. And I thought, oh, cool, we're going to get a roller coaster chase. And then no, Joshua just like shoots the gunman.
Yeah, because he's off the ground now. So
Yeah.
idiot went up on a roller coaster.
Yeah, bang!
Yeah.
Like no one's
perfect.
business.
I don't even remember who this gunman is.
No, I don't
it's
think it matters.
not important.
It's also so funny that this guy sees Cunty Josh there with a sniper rifle and is just like, huh, anyway. I'm going to keep looking for this sniper.
Yeah.
It's not particularly Bond, but it is getting quite deeply Phoenix Wright, which I could get into.
Vicky pulls up and drags him into a very perfunctory car chase, which then just kind of ends.
Yeah, they shoot one of the tires out and it just stops.
Yeah.
He goes back to the hotel.
The hotel where everybody speaks German.
Yes.
I really like this henchman who attempts to kill him, though, because like he understands, right? A normal henchman would come in there and shoot, stand perfectly still and shoot until he either killed or was killed. This guy shoots 3 times, realizes he's missed all of them and lost the element of surprise, and just hits the bricks.
Mm-hmm.
I like it, He does
100%.
get killed later on, but still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dr. Chang.
Dr. Chang.
What? Where does
Dr.
this
Chang.
come from? This is why I say this film is AI generated.
My name is Dr. Chang.
And that doesn't sell that quite so hard, because what happens is this guy is trying to get into his door. Like 007 is at home, Bond is at home, and like he's in the hotel room, and this guy is like rattling the door, and he sneaks up to this door and he like wrenches it open like really fast, and immediately
Guy's
that
standing
guy,
completely stock still, and the second the door flies open, he's like,
My name is Dr. Chang.
and then he goes, got the wrong room.
unfazed, immediately turns 180 degrees and leaves. And like,
Here's the thing, right?
all right.
The cold shot, Dr. Chang, and it's not just because he's a doctor, it's not just because he ambushes Bond in a hotel, it's not just because he has a weird demeanor, but like the combination of all of those things is telling. He perfectly Kaufmans this thing from the first shot, like 100%.
He does.
The whole rest of the movie, I'm thinking about Dr. Chang because there's nothing else interesting going on.
Yeah, suddenly I'm like, well, who's this guy? He seems
wait a
cool.
minute. Explain Dr. Chang to me, because he starts Bond starts following this guy.
Yeah, and
around
Dr. Chang like hands off to a second Asian man, and then they go into the subway.
And if you've seen The Great Spy Chase, you understand.
Yeah, this is just a thing apparently, and so multiplying Asians, because some more Asian dudes come down every staircase. And the worst part, this is the part where I stopped, put my head in my hands, and went, no, this is unedited. This is what the music sounds like as he notices that the guys surrounding him are Asian.
You hear it come in. You're like,
Music comes Asian. It's real fucking
So
bad.
he's
real
in the
bad.
subway, he's surrounded by Chinese agents, I guess. He ducks into a pharmacy and buys loads of aerosol. And then
On the way, in the course of ducking into the pharmacy, I do want to note that he does the thing where he like hides with his back to a door, but the door is made of glass.
I also, he did. He does do that.
Perfect spy.
he then throws the aerosol into a chestnut roaster to blow it up and create a distraction. And he pulls the chestnut roaster out of the way of the explosion. But he and the chestnut roaster are still the people who are standing closest to this. So it would hurt him and the civilian more than it would hurt any of the Chinese agents surrounding him.
He does ostensibly like suicide bomb a subway station, yes, but he's fine, and we know he's fine because the next shot is him
Hard cut.
coming back to his hotel,
Yeah, this will be the episode art. I won't worry.
covered in soot in a way that is uncannily reminiscent of blackface.
Hard cut to blackface.
Hard cut to Full spot, Piet, motherfucker.
Oh,
And he goes, I was looking up the chimney.
It's just tactical blackface.
M calls and it's like, yo, remember that you're looking for a device? Remember the plot of this movie before you got into all this shit with Dr. Chang and the clowns? Find the device. Don't let the Chinese get it. Also, the Vienna office might be compromised. And we're like, yeah, no shit. He's in blackface the entire time during this conversation.
Yeah.
He does not wipe this off.
So
I
he
just
goes
don't know,
back yet again to the fucking circus.
Ugh.
I watched this movie yesterday and I don't remember any of it.
Yeah.
It slid off my mind like water off a duck, bro. Everyone's earnestly cut up about like the dead clown though. Like because we see the clown act is practicing.
They've got a new Henry.
They've got a new clown. He's not quite as good. It's you know.
And so the conversation with M has told him, all right, listen, you can't get the fucking device, the rocket fall downer back. So you're going to have to like bid for it, like in that better movie, The Great Spy Chase. So go like secure bidding rights and make sure nobody else bids. So he goes to the circus, meets the new clown, and then tries to like blackmail Irina.
We do get a bit that kind of redeemed it a little bit, because this whole time I was like, what the fuck are we messing around with all these fucking clowns? What is this? And Bond actually says to Gilbert, he's like, a traveling circus is the ideal cover for espionage, because you're always traveling from country to country. And like people let you in because they understand that's your job. So he says, I think there is a spy or spies somewhere in this fucking circus. And I was like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense now.
Yeah. I like Octopussy uses a circus to smuggle a nuke into the DWR, is it?
So he goes to Irina and is like, yo, what the fuck? I know there's a spy somewhere in here. And she says, yeah, there is. I don't know who's pulling the strings, but I am definitely spying for someone. I get my instructions anonymously. I do what they tell me. I don't really know what the deal is with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like fucking Spectre. There's a hidden hand.
Yeah. So Bond says, first of all, don't tell them that I'm looking for them. And then also, like, tell your contact, whoever it is, that I want to buy that. Tell Caesar I want to buy the device. And lo and behold, she has a note requesting a meeting.
He also then immediately finds, the note that he didn't even need to do any of this shit.
Yeah, convenient.
Mm-hmm.
But Caesar has sent her a note saying, yo, let's meet. So fucking Bond goes to the meeting instead. And then we get the reveal that it's Vicky and Country Josh and Jerry.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Who are being blackmailed.
Oh no. Yeah, so here's what happens here is we get the Uncle Chop, first of all.
We do.
Classic staple, knocks this guy out. Uncle Chop wakes up
getting groped in a steam room, which...
He wakes up getting a threatening massage from a Mongo. It's been a minute. And then post-threatening massage, they earnestly ask him to team up with them.
Yeah, they give him a robe. They're like, oh, so this guy will straighten you out, and then he just like gives him like quite a good massage.
Genuinely straightens him out. And you're like, oh, okay.
It's like, yeah, he looked very tense.
Our plan is we're gonna meet this guy. We're gonna knock him out. We're gonna take him here. We're gonna give him a massage against his will. We're gonna take his clothes. And then we're going to say, we're being blackmailed, we need your help. Why did you not just tell him that when you met him?
It's complimentary. It's on the house,
The non-consensual massage is like an essential element of tradecraft.
Also, just to confuse him even more, we're going to keep switching between German and English.
It's like some shit that like some Manchurian candidate shit that like the North Koreans did on captured US prisoners of war.
Do you see what I mean when I say it's like this is an AI generated Bond film? It's just like all the individual bits are kind of recognizable, but then you put them together and it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Mm-hmm. Why did they just have a steam room in back of the station
your
TV?
Spy headquarters have a steam room and a massage therapist.
It's an art museum.
Is he like is he a regular? Like, is he just an amateur? He happens to work at the agency.
Who's this guy?
Is Peter the Mongo?
Like a contract massage therapist.
That guy just earnestly works for Station V as a masseuse. He doesn't know what's going on.
It's like Uncle Chops him and they're like, well, we've got the masseuse today. Do you think it would be nice to...
They're like, oh, he's going to be so upset about the Uncle Chop. That's going to really hurt his neck. What if we
give you
relax him?
Tension between the shoulders.
It'll prove to him that we're acting in good faith. If we just get our biggest guy to massage him when he wakes up. He'll beat us halfway.
What did you expense the steam room? Like, what was really
Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
So she says, okay, we're being blackmailed because my dad, who's the head of Station V Vienna, was kidnapped. So they go to the kidnapping spot, which I presume is in Germany because we've switched back to German. And Jerry says when he was kidnapped by like a very distinctive red car. Oh, look, coincidentally, there it is.
Pure coincidence, it's there. So they chase the car, they stop the car, and earning the Kaufman star just that little bit more.
My name is Dr. Chang.
Here he is.
Just keep running into this guy.
He can't earn. He can't. He's in more than one scene. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, he also doesn't destroy the tone of the film.
No, because the tone's already fucked. I mean, he's beautiful. I'm more than happy to Kronstein him, but like the Kaufman is.
In fairness, we did give Oscar. Fuck.
We gave a Kaufman. By the way, we're giving a backformed Kaufman for the previous 3 episodes to the aqua car itself, but
That's
very
fair.
much did exist in one scene and ruined our lives.
So Kaufmans don't just have to be in one scene, but I agree. I don't think Dr. Chang ruins the tone of the film. I think he fits the tone of the film, which is eclectic. But anyway, they capture him. He's obviously a Chinese agent. They have dinner with him in German. They say, you're obviously a spy. You're trying to get the device. He's like, 9, and then says no in English. At this point,
They treat him quite well, but you know what they don't do? They don't give him a massage.
They don't give him a massage.
What the fuck is this double standard that you capture one guy and you give him the massage guy just clocks off, I guess, because
It's because of the uncle chop. You know, this guy didn't get the chop, so he doesn't need the massage. He just walked in. You know, it's.
At this point, they get a phone call saying Caesar wants to meet. So, okay, thank fuck the villain of this film seems to have some kind of plan. Because the good guys
find out
don't.
who Caesar is.
Yeah, and so Bond goes to meet him, and it's fucking Gilbert. He arranged his own wife's death and Henry's for question mark motives.
starts using the evil voice. It's great.
Yeah, but like, why did you do it? And he's just like, she was cheating on me, dude. I had to have her killed. It's like, oh, you bastard. You fucking shit.
Whatever, he's a spy.
He wasn't the ethical slut after all.
He was the
unethical
slut.
slut.
Not the so many people who believe themselves to be the ethical slut do turn out to be the unethical slut, I find.
Yeah.
I do my best.
Well, not you.
From what I hear, you're a very ethical slut.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, at this point, a small gunfight breaks out, and the second someone lets it bark, two Viennese cops.
This is so funny.
Yeah.
Because like the Vienna like town hall, right? We're like, okay, we must show the extreme efficiency of our police force, and so the second a gunshot happens, it's like fucking Cyberpunk. 2 cops spawn in around the corner. In a
so
shitty little
fucking
VW Beetle.
Yeah, as Bond as Gilbert is struggling for a gun, it goes off, and the cop's like, under arrest.
Whoa, is that a gunshot? And everyone's like, it was a misunderstanding.
You wouldn't even have had time to call it in. Like, just
It's
spam.
so fucking funny.
So Gilbert gets arrested, and Philippe, in fairness, does deduce, this must have been a cover to kind of get him away from us.
Real cops.
Yeah,
you know?
the fake cop.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Yasha is
Cunty
looking
Josh.
Cunty Josh is looking after Dr. Chang, and he's making him some tea, and Dr. Chang's like, is there any milk? And Cunty Josh goes to the drinks cabinet and looks at it in all earnest and goes like, no. Which just as one detail. Just one detail to go to a drinks cart looking for milk is just perfect.
Opening up a little globe to a drinks cabinet, it's full of sour milk. It's gone off.
The discussion about Josh reminds me of a comment we got a little bit ago that was like, remember the Demolition Man episode where we had the profanity alerts for all of this?
Yeah.
Multiple times we would have discussions about whether words like shit counted as profanity. But as a fan points out, we all said cunt at least once each, and it never got mentioned. We did not even for a second clock the word cunt as being profanity.
It's good. It's quite funny. I have a story about that too, actually. So, like, I was in LA a couple of weeks ago, and Dave, the CEO of Nebula, was there, and we were going to have dinner. And he said, "What are you going to wear so that I can decide what I'm going to wear?" And I said, "I have a dress that's like moderately cunty." And
Americans,
Dave is a cishet guy, and he was like, "What does that mean?" And I said, it's kind of like on the edge of appropriate, like serving cunt. And he was like, okay, I'll wear my cunty tie. Does that make sense? And I was like, not really, but cool. And then he saw the dress and he was like, okay, yeah. So I was basically like giving Dave a crash course in like what cunty meant. I said, there's like an audacity to cuntiness.
Yeah. I'm allowed to use the word cunt anytime I want for two reasons. One is that I'm a trans woman, and the other is that I live in Scotland. So
That's true. Well,
Yeah,
well, we still did the profanity filter for like the ones we can say.
That's true. So Dr. Chang, he poisons
Cunty Josh.
or I guess roofies Cunty Josh's tea. And then as soon as he drinks it, Cunty Josh gets hit with the drugs sound effect, which in this case sounds like yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's better than the Spy Who Loved Me one.
So Cunty Josh is like knocked out, and Dr. Chang escapes. And then watching on the CCTV, Bond is like, aha, finally, we knew he was going to make his move, so now we can tail him to Caesar.
But the thing is, right, Cunty Josh, he gets up later and he's fine, but he drinks that tea. He doesn't fake doing it. He knew that was going to happen. He just went out there to get roofied.
Yeah.
I have said this man.
Did he know?
Every decision he makes is just like, what would serve the hardest for me to do right now? Like, what would be like? He is like a living version of the Balenciaga AI videos. But he's just like, even him like passing out, he's looking down the camera lens a little bit too chiseled-y. And you're like, all right, come on.
Yeah.
Gets the rest of the day off though after that, I guess, because he's not in
Hey,
a
it's
movie
worthwhile,
again.
honestly.
So they follow Chang to, guess where? The abandoned fairground again.
Well, we should have guessed that he'd be in that location because it's the only other location we've had.
Yeah.
There are very few locations in this movie.
Where it transpires that Gilbert has a bunker, like an old air raid shelter that he's converted into a lair. And we film Bond excruciatingly crawling all the way into a vent to eavesdrop on a conversation between them, and then all the way back out.
And a good director would be like, oh, here's our hero. He's crawling into his unknown environment. It's very claustrophobic. We're seeing him the whole way. We can really build tension with this shot. What we get is he crawls towards the camera, and then later he crawls back away from the camera. And it's like you get no sense of anything.
There is a detail that I like, which is that when Chang is buying the thing, he asks him for a receipt. Yeah, it's fun. Classic Chang move. So
they finally explain what the MacGuffin is, by the way, and it's like missiles, whatever.
It makes Rocket fall down. And Gilbert wants $1 million in small used bills, and Chang's like, "Cool, no problem."
So at this point, Bond and Cunty Josh fight their way through three guards who we later find out are named Andre, Gorba, and Bob. Ideal team dynamic, first of all.
Now, those are the type of guys that you get together and all wear a matching cable knit sweater with. Like,
100%.
that's goon stuff.
They're gooning.
They're gooning. They're straight gooning.
It's Gorba coded.
So they confront Gilbert. Also, they rescue Vicky's dad at this point.
He's got a really nice cell, like 2,500 PCM, bills not included as cell.
So they rescue him. They confront Gilbert. Gilbert runs away into the roof with the device. Chang gets the device, but then Gilbert takes it back.
But I mean, what happens is that Gilbert, when held at gunpoint, has a being held at gunpoint alarm, which, as far as I can tell, shuts off the lights, drops an escape ladder from the ceiling, and also releases one jet of smoke that does nothing and is never acknowledged by anyone.
Listen, you try everything, all right?
It just kind of like sprays a bit of dry ice in there.
I had that same setup for the forced feminization I did a while ago.
Yeah, with the escape ladder was a weird touch.
Yeah.
So yeah, Chang escapes with the case.
Yes.
But then Gilbert steals it back and hides it at a waxwork museum.
Yeah, the classic waxwork man holding gun. He tries to like imitate that, and it doesn't work very well.
Not trying. Although another thing that happens in a later Bond film, so there's a lot of shots in 3/4 time you can find in Bond movies.
It's
It
true.
really echoed forward through the eons. This one.
Then Gilbert gets in a helicopter, and I'm like, what? How does this guy have goons? Are they all clowns?
Oh, fuck, he's in the head. Sorry, I was. My last two notes are this movie is deeply mediocre, and then in full caps, no fucking way, LeMayo. And I've been trying desperately to remember what that means.
So first of all, he loses the MacGuffin by the simple expedient of as he gets into the helicopter, he drops it, and he can't be bothered to lean out of the door and grab it.
I didn't even notice he dropped it.
He just drops it on the ground. It's like, like he has fucking tendinitis or something. Like he can't. And then
whereas Consummate Joshua goes, listen, this boy, he's off the ground now.
He's off the ground.
I can take care of this shit too sweet if you want. And he goes, no, let me do it.
So he hands him a rifle because they've all been shooting at this with pistols completely ineffectively. He takes one shot with the rifle, and from the very center of its being, this helicopter fucking explodes.
It just fucking goes off.
Instant explosion, hard cut to Paris.
Yeah.
Boom, cut.
Done.
We did it, baby.
Completely done.
The movie is over.
Well, and this is the thing. Do you remember The Great Spy Chase? Right. Because they have, for some reason, he's still in love with Vicky. You know, the fucking captain shows up and he's like, cheers. He's got the case full of Chang's money, his like, $1 million in small bills. And if the best expression, the like happy ending of a French spy movie is your wife and your mistress are both cool with it, as it was in The Great Spy Chase, the perfect German spy movie happy ending is you embezzle millions from work and no one knows.
I mean, the ideal ending is that you have $1 million and your wife and girlfriend are both cool with it, which like, hey.
It's so
that's why I got into podcasting.
We need to give this money back to Chang or whatever. We need to give it into the, and like his boss M is just like, you're holding it, whatever.
M like
Movie's
rapidly oscillating between German and English.
Don't care.
Like,
and at this point, he sets the case down to like make out with Vicky, but pickpockets operate in this area, and he gets changed on, larcenous style.
Dr. Chang walks past, picks up the case. He's like, well, I may have failed my mission, but I still have $1 million.
Yeah. And, we'll always remember that he's...
My name is Dr. Chang.
Iconic line.
That's approximately, I would say, the one line. Truly, there are no winners in love or war except for Dr. Chang, who wins easily. The movie's over.
Yeah, and that's shots in 3/4 time.
The Great Spy Chase also ended with like Chinese agents getting the upper hand, didn't it?
Yeah,
because that's the thing. Europe has we've got like in the well, actually now as well, I guess we've got like a real paranoia about the East, but we're still like it will win though. Eventually they'll win.
Oh yeah, of course. Basically, you couldn't make this kind of movie unless you were like a Maoist third worldist.
Yeah.
all the dispossessed of the world here articulated by Dr. Chang.
Iconic character.
This is Dr. Chang's iconic cap.
This movie was so mediocre that we're like desperately clinging to my name is Dr. Chang and being like, we could make 40 minutes of bit out of this. We can do it.
The thing is, like, as I said near the start, the scene to scene editing is really bad. And that's like what order scenes come in and like which scenes are included and which scenes are cut. So we get a lot of cutting back and forth between locations that doesn't need to happen. Like we go circus, hotel, circus. Like it's just a very badly told story. And that makes it a fucking slog to watch. At least with like moment to moment bad editing, it can be funny, but like it's just boring.
Yeah. No,
there's nothing here. This is like absolutely mediocre. And I watched this and I was like, the fuck am I going to do any jokes about this?
Yeah.
Which
apart from thank God they can't choose a language.
Thank God for Dr. Chang is all I'll say.
Yeah.
Without him we'd be fucked.
But we don't need to just guess around about how mediocre it is because we've got a science-based system on this podcast.
The Chang system
stands for charm, cultural insensitivity, and provoked violence and misogyny.
Yes.
It's
called the scum.
There's no end there. That would have been Chag. Moving on, we
become deranged.
We can finish recording and then we all get to add on with our day. Like this is it.
Okay, fine. It's called the SCUM system. It stands for SMARM: cultural insensitivity, unprovoked violence, and misogyny. How smarmy is this movie? It's got nothing. It's got nothing going on. He tries, but like,
Does he? Like, he doesn't even have anything as rizzy as like the revolving chairs line. Like, he doesn't even try.
No.
In fact, she even sets him up occasionally, being like, "Would you like to visit the great sights of Vienna, including my tits and pussy?" And he's just like, "No."
no, he never
No, I'm good.
visits them.
He doesn't want to visit them. No, he's visiting the art museum,
Circus.
the circus,
again.
the abandoned fairground.
Hotel. Circus a third time.
different,
Abandoned circus.
distinct,
Not
scarier
as bleak
circus.
as being an actual spy. Terrible. 0. Cultural insensitivity. Well, first
0
of
for
all,
Smart. That might be a first, but like,
I genuinely, I can't.
don't think he even tries.
No.
Before we get to any of the real cultural insensitivity, I do want to say, despite them having paid for this, for the City of Vienna to go from the
Ordeal.
third man to this, and they reference the third man a couple of times in this. One of the titles was Operation Third Man, and oh man, that's a comparison. It just
You don't want to make that kind of shit, man.
doesn't hold up. It's brutal. But yeah, it's pretty racist. Is it culturally insensitive to just suddenly start speaking German?
If it is, we can't judge it because that's not actually the movie. That's just our version.
It certainly like treats Chinese people not well.
Don't watch this movie. This is another one of our big Kill James Bonds. Don't worry about this one.
Yeah, I would say in terms of like levels of racism, it's like equivalent to The Great Spy Chase, but it doesn't
Yes.
relish in it as much. But it's just because it doesn't relish in anything. It's too like pro forma. Form, yeah, fine.
Sure.
Unprovoked violence. I barely remember who shoots what.
He does punch Gilbert in the face for no reason. So I'm going to give it a point for that.
That's true.
Yeah. 1.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Can we give an extra point for culture? Oh, well, I guess he's not really doing blackface, is he?
No, it's supposed to be like slapstick, I guess.
Yeah. It's clowning.
It's
Should've stuck to
clowning.
Clowning.
It is clowning.
Cultural insensitivity to clowns. Yeah, unprovoked violence. 1, he punches a guy in the face.
Oh
Fine.
dear, guys.
Listen, we're not saying this. The problem is, this isn't the best movie we've ever seen. It's the most unremarkable.
Well,
Yeah, it's like barely even a movie. Misogyny. Doesn't even have any
he's firing wrong on all cylinders with regards to
interest
Irina.
in
the whole
women.
time.
There's nothing. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, women exist to get killed, I guess, or blackmailed, or fucked. But
Vicky survives and has agency. Yes, she does come into the movie like pussy out.
Yeah, and leaves her pussy out as well because she ends up being the one that pairs up with Bond.
Yeah, true. So I guess he
yeah.
does get the girl, but it's not like that misogynistic.
I don't know. This ain't my one.
2? Yeah.
Bad news bears,
Oh my
everyone.
god, it's the worst. It's the best movie we've ever seen.
So that gives it a total score of 007, which
No, fuck.
means it's not the best movie we've ever seen because The Bourne Identity just beats it on 6.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Thank God.
Jason Bourne coming in at the last second to
But
save
it is one of the best movies we've ever seen. It's tied with View to a Kill, which was the best Bond movie we've ever seen. It's
This is-
tied with The Bourne Supremacy.
Huh.
It's tied with How to Steal the World.
You technically
Remember
get
that
away with not making a bad movie by not really making a movie in any sense of the
Yeah,
term.
I almost want to give it like a
Yeah.
did not finish, but it is technically a finished film. So
That's so funny. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, wow. All right,
So
well,
I just know
fuck
that
this.
in a year's time, when we're looking back on these scores, we're going to look back and be like, shots in 3/4 time? What the fuck was that? How did that get
It's-
such a good score?
I
Three-fourths time.
watched it yesterday. It's gone.
Yeah.
I was struggling, and yeah. Well, the important thing is that it's done. Our next
My ultimate goal with this is that, I want to get to a point where if you watch a movie, you can search our backlog and maybe we'll have an episode on it. And like, no matter when we recorded it, it's going to stand up. You can listen to that and be like, this is a good analysis for this movie. I am not even remotely worried about anyone watching shots in 3/4 time at any point in the future and being like, oh, this episode of Kill James Bond wasn't that good. It's like, bro, fuck off. We're doing our best, man.
Our next bonus film is my pick.
Yeah.
And we are going to watch a problematic fave of mine. We are going to watch The Edge, written by David
yeah.
Mamet, in which Anthony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin get stuck in the wilderness together and like have a lot of very tense
Outstanding.
acting scene. We're gonna go back for some more old man Hopkins. It's gonna be great.
Yes.
Doing it,
Well,
baby.
Please subscribe to the Patreon. Our next mainline episode after that is going to be, and I grimace at this one already, Agent 3S3 Passport to Hell.
That's either gonna be really, really good or really, really bad.
Thank you for listening. We have been Kill James Bond, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Ich willkommen das Funk.
Thank you for listening to yet another episode of Kill James Bond. Next episode in 2 weeks' time is oh shit. Hold on. This is embarrassing because we actually have already recorded this episode. I've done a whole hour of talking about this. I just need to remember the name of the movie. That was completely gone. Oh well, that's interesting. Okay. Well, yeah. It's a good episode though, so you really look forward to it. We got Josh from Worst of All Possible Worlds on. But if that is simply too long for you to wait, we have a Patreon where you can find bonus episodes on those interstitial weeks. The next one is the Abby's Pick, which again I definitely remember the name of. Well, speaking of course of our beautiful patrons, we would be nothing without our £15 and above patrons, and those are Lo Bjornsdottir, Andy Fox, Freya, Aloysius, Gustavo Lira, Jack Holmes, Mike Berg, Hannah Oberhardt, Nick Boris, Power Dad, Nathan Mori, Jason Hager, George Rohart, Kentucky Fried Commie, Cohen Enright, Drone Lover, Yarrick, Melody Moro Gonzalez, Labor Delenda Est, Callan Burney, J. Martindale, Trip, Library Hitman, Max Gaiman Hart. This probably isn't Gaiman Hart, by the way. Like, I'm looking at the spelling of it here, and it's probably closer to something like Gaiman Hart. But Gaiman Hart sounds funny, so sorry, Max. Jonathan Gerd, definitely isn't pronounced like that either, by the way. Mothman, Beef Crime, Jack Drummond, Kit Devine, Tarpo, Steve Widdershins, Maeve Victoria Roth, Rosie Can't Fail, Help, Send Horses and Men, Forrest L. Novell, Project, Emery, Commissar Ozymandias, Just the Worst, A Trans Robot, Joyous Uwu, Zan Hutchin, Claire, Hell, Alaya, Lena, Violet Cyber, Lenina, my apologies, Violet Cybra, Isopod Gal, Annie Ruby, Katie Brobst, Farad Sukart, Bronan, Clarification, John 2089, Noblesse, Oblahaj, Connor's Cool Big Sister, Seng Chen, Sergeant, Jack Rum, Alex, Liz and Ash in Florida, Walscott, Corvid Cultist, Quinn Valeri, Grendel Growls, Wolfie, Al Irving, Philippa Smith, Finn Ross, Robert Greensmith, Abigail, Electro, Cyber Puppy, Loz Pycock, Mega Combi, Emily, Queen of Sloths, Percy Shit and Die Alone, Mortran, Josh Simmons, Zoe Shepard, Lauren Bastin, Talkative Tiger, and Faye needs a new 15-member name so she isn't inconspicuous. Faye, babe. It's fine. I wouldn't worry about it. Kill James Bond is Alice, Abigail, and Devon. Our producers are the wonderful Nate Bethay and the sparkling Mr. Thomas O'Mahony. Our website's by Tom Allen, our art's by Maddie Lubchansky, and I am clearly very tired. Good night, all.